So welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here. For today on the show, what can I say? We're having an incredible, super badass guest. He's on the show, the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the one and only Mike. How are you today, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. Man, what better way to have an incredible, super badass day than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
There you go. Absolutely. Now, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot. But also in the description below, you're going to find all of Mike's social media. Let's follow him. Let's find out why he's super badass. And without further more, let's jump in. So, I want to start this whole conversation by throwing out the first question, which is, what initially drew you to acting in the first place? Was there like a performance, moment, something about it that made you realize, you know what? This is my purpose from now on. This is where my journey begins.
For me, it was actually film production that had got me into the acting side. So I mean, I grew up as a massive cinephile. I think a lot of artists, particularly in the film industry, they start off with that one movie or that massive bundle of movies that they love that just make them say, yeah, that's what I want to do. But when I was in high school, I was a Comtech kid. So I was huge into communications technology and learning how to use the editing softwares on a MacBook Pro, learning how to use a green screen and do all the chroma keying. That it was something that was really fascinating to me. I wanted to know how movies were made because that was my biggest escape when I was a kid, was going to the cinema. But I didn't start acting until I was actually 19 years old. I was in my first year and my only year of film school. I was going for a 4-year film degree in Toronto, and I ultimately decided to switch paths when I had the opportunity to act in student films. Because I mean, I'm sure any film students who are watching, you probably know how hard it is to get actors to commit to your project when all you're doing is you're paying them pizza and experience. So I was a volunteer for a lot of the film students projects, and I was acting in that. And I thought, yeah, I want to see where this is going to go. So I began taking classes and doing more student films, and I decided to leave film school and start focusing on that a little more.
There you go. Pretty cool. And tell me, what were some of your favorite films back when you were a child?
The biggest one for me, just because it was a huge part of my childhood, and it was actually a massive part of my mom's childhood, was E.T. So yeah, 1980, Steven Spielberg. My mom had the VHS when I was a kid. And I kid you not, I would put that VHS in the player and I'd watch it, rewind it again, and step and repeat. I do it all again. And it was a movie I watched with my mom a lot as well. So it was the one that was getting me on my journey for the film and television industry and just that world in general. So I became a huge Spielberg fan after that movie.
Do you still have that VHS or not anymore?
I still have that VHS. It's probably hiding somewhere in that cabinet. I'm looking at our massive film cabinet right there, or it's probably in a box in the storage room with all the relics of our family history. So yeah, it's there somewhere.
Yeah, totally. I know what you mean. My mom usually likes to keep all the previous stuff, back when we were kids, toys, the VHS films that we watched back when we were little. And it's fun because when you get the chance to kind of rewatch them or to kind of finding that stuff, it gives you like this feeling, right? That kind of takes you back when you were little. Like all of those feelings, moments you had. You know what I mean? So.
Absolutely. I mean, and especially like the classic VHSs, because you get a DVD version of ET or like a DVD version of the original Star Wars trilogy. They put all this CGI in there. It's like I like the puppets. I like the animatronics. You don't need to put that stuff in there. Like I need to see the classic, the original version of that film. So
totally,
yeah,
totally.
VHS.
That's pretty cool. And tell me, in your experience, does becoming a great actor require breaking yourself down or building something entirely new?
I feel like you get a little bit of both, actually. I think there's a massive part of self-exploration. You learn a lot about yourself, or you find parts of yourself that you can bring to a role. So, I mean, you have that associative part of your life that you can bring into whatever role you're doing. It's like, what do you get to explore Like, what part of the human condition do I get to explore today? And how can I apply myself to what the script is asking me to do? So, I mean, you get some self exploration, but I think that it does require a little bit of breaking down to just to figure out what resonates with you, what moment is going to stand out to you in a piece of material that you're going to get.
And how do you prepare emotionally for roles that demand kind of a, the whole vulnerability going on, trauma, or even grief? Like how you're able to come back from it?
Again, I think it's a lot of it is associative. I mean, I'm not huge on picking at a scab and making yourself like is. I mean, it's going to run out, but you find moments or a moment, even if it's just one core thought in a script that you're like, you know what, I can dig deep. When have I mourned? Who did I mourn? When did I mourn? What stage of my life was I at when I was mourning this person? How just allowing yourself to be sad and allowing yourself to mourn as an example, or allowing yourself to be scared, like what frightens you, and exploring within yourself what core feeling you can associate that with your life and bring it to that role. But I'm not a believer of like picking at a scab and just like going over and over and over again. Just it's like, oh, make yourself cry. So remember when your dog died? It's like it's gonna run thin. You can just find something that you can tap into, but don't lose yourself. Don't go too far into it because it's exhausting and also I think a little depressing as well. Something my coach has said to me before, and it's something that has stuck with me for the past decade, is acting is dreaming while awake, which is, I thought, a really cool. I mean, you have these imaginary circumstances, but the moments that you share, or like when you see somebody opening up and being vulnerable on screen, like the best performances are when these emotions are real. Like people, like when we believe that what a person is sharing with us is genuinely important to them. So when they are being vulnerable and they are being open, like it's a real emotion, but it's just put into these imaginary circumstances. So I mean, there's a great deal of work and I mean bravery that has to go into performance to give you these real emotions. Like the emotions aren't fake, and that's what kind of bothers me. When people say it's like, oh, it's fake. It's like they're real emotions. So it may be fake circumstances, but like the emotions and what they're experiencing is a real emotion. It's a real thought.
And do you believe that acting itself can heal sometimes, or maybe reopen wounds that we thought that were closed in the past?
I think it can reopen wounds, but like in that regard, like I don't go back to picking at a scar over and over and over again, but you can definitely find some sense of resolve in acting as well. Like I mean, you're not using that as like it's a weakness. Oh, poor me! I want you to pity me. You ultimately like you want to root for these people. I don't want to see them as somebody who's complaining. I want to see them as somebody who's like, yeah, you're dealing with this problem. You are overcoming it. You're working towards like all you're going around all these obstacles to try and achieve something that you want. And if it means going through painful experiences, going through things that are just unexpected. I mean, yeah, it can definitely open wounds, but I mean, the journey at the end of every story that you see, whether I mean, particularly if it's like a comedic story where a character overcomes a flaw and they go through all these obstacles to get to the end of their journey, they're going through this process to overcome something and grow and learn. And I think acting, when you get to work with that material that is an Aristotelian comedy in that sense, is you get to watch a journey and you get to experience that. So yeah, you might be experiencing some wounds, some moments in your history or maybe your character's history that's something that you can relate to, but the journey is what people care about the most and how you deal with those circumstances. I think that's what makes it healing, is you get to work through these obstacles and you just go on the ride and you get to make the choice and you have to live with that choice that you make in the story. So it's cool how you can find some parallels in watching like a performance heal you as well, because you do ultimately make these decisions that like yeah you live with them, but hopefully you grow and you learn and you come out stronger having gone through it, like your favorite heroes in 95% of the movies that are these Aristotelian comedies.
Has there been like a role that exposed a truth about yourself that at that point you weren't kind of ready to face?
Yeah, and you know what? Surprisingly, it was on the short film that I co-wrote, co-produced, and starred in recently. I really wanted to tell this tragic story. I wanted it to be a tragedy where it essentially exposes this great, like, fatal flaw of greed, but greed in a present age. So I got to exploring a lot of frustration that I had felt, particularly during COVID, when like everything was digital, everything was just online, and people's data was more valuable. And for me, there was something that was so frustrating, and it bothered me so much that that's how we viewed each other, and that's how a lot of my colleagues and I had viewed each other as well. And it was something that was really sad and devastating for me. It's like, oh, you don't want to be my friend. You just want me to give you the like and the data to help boost you. You just like that. There was I got to explore that frustration a lot in making a short film. And this character that I was playing, where he ultimately chooses greed in the end, knowing that down the line it'll be his doom. I got to explore that in greater detail. So that was a performance I got to really enjoy, and also just hate the living hell out of. I've already gotten a few comments and see data comments. I got some replies from people I knew in the community who finally watched my short, and they said like that was the most unsatisfying ending ever. It's like, well, it's the point. It's not meant to be a satisfying, happy ending. This is a tragedy. So that's something I got to explore in greater detail, and something that was just like, wow, like we really have gotten to this point where you think it's like benevolence is going to triumph in a story like this, but it doesn't. Greed does, which is ultimately going to lead to a downfall.
It's incredible, right? How films are able to explore topics that we are kind of facing at this point, right? And I do think that with films, you can also get the chance to kind of raise awareness, and talk about certain things that you wouldn't be able to say in public somehow, because it would be uncomfortable or whatever. I do think that films is kind of the safe zone for having like these conversations and to gather people from different opinions, different beliefs in one room to watch a film, to talk about a specific thing going on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think you're seeing a lot more of these films now as well. I mean, a lot in the indie scene, like a lot of people are taking these massive leaps and telling even stories from the past, like period pieces. Some movies I've really enjoyed have been Black Klansman and Judas and the Black Messiah, where I mean, it's obviously a part in history that I wasn't even born yet. And my parents, I don't even think one of them were even born yet. And you just got to explore that social injustice in that time in history, and you really got to reflect on humanity's moral stances in that time. And yeah, it is fascinating to see what kind of performances and stories resonate with you now, and think, wow, we really messed up back then, or wow, we're still in this situation where it's not exactly great. We should probably address this again.
What do you think it's one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about the whole acting industry?
For me, one of the biggest ones, and I'm sure there's going to be a fair amount of flack I'll get for this, that you have to go to theater school or film school to pursue a career in this industry. That if you didn't go to theater school, you didn't go to film school, this isn't for you. Or even just another more general misconception. I'm one of the biggest critics of this statement is some people have it, some people don't. I truly believe that anybody can do this. And I don't mean this, oh, it's easy. Anybody, like, yeah, God, like anybody can do this. Just like jump in. Like, if you think you're like, anybody can do what you do, it's like, well, it takes a lot of hard work, sacrifice, passion. You have to have a positive attitude. It's hard work, practice. And I'm even I'll say even a little bit, like a small amount of luck as well. Like if you're working hard, your passion is there, and you just happen to be at the right place at the right time, you can find some measure of, we'll call it success in this line of work. Like you never really know. Like I'm not a believer in some people have it, some people don't. I just think anybody who really wants to do this, if you didn't have the pleasure or opportunity to go to theater school or film school, you can still do this. How many DPs I've met who didn't even study cinema, who like one DP I remember meeting on a CBS show was like he had a degree in theoretical physics, and now he's DPing a multi-million-dollar production. How did you get into this? Oh well, I started as a grip, and I was really passionate about it, and I learned more about it. I worked really hard, and now here I am on CBS, and it's just like, okay, so you didn't have to go to film school. The same thing with actors too. Like how many actors I've met who didn't go to theater school and are working more than some of the actors I know who have gone to theater school. I think it is about attitude and hard work. And if your attitude is good and you're working hard and you love it, you can and will find some success, whatever that definition is for you. I think it's different for everybody.
And at the same time, tell me, how do you stay grounded in an industry that constantly asks you to reinvent yourself or sell yourself at the same time?
There are moments where I definitely felt like I have lost myself in there, thinking, yeah, you know what, you need to reinvent yourself. You need to, don't be Mike anymore. Don't be yourself, which I think is probably one of the worst pieces of advice. And it's like, oh no, like you reinvent yourself. It's like, no, bring bits of yourself to the work that you do and be yourself. Honestly, I think that's the best. Continue to be yourself. Don't lose ground of where you came from, your upbringing, your family, your friends. Stay in touch with yourself. Like stay in tune with like who you are, because absolutely you're going to see so much change in this industry. And I pardon my language, this industry is a fickle bitch. It is forever changing. They're going to want tall guys with blonde hair, blue eyes. Okay, well, you know what? Mike has to go and dye his hair blonde now. No, no. Like you don't have to do that. Or everybody, Marlon Brando's bad boy persona is back. Now the guys need to be arrogant assholes to everybody. No, like it. Stay grounded and true to yourself. Be humble as well, I'd say. I think people get this idea that because this industry is so competitive that it has to be cutthroat. It doesn't. You can be a hardworking, creative actor and be decent at the same time. So, I mean, continue to be decent and true to yourself. Continue to work hard, but I'd also say is try and focus on your own thing. As selfish as that might sound at some perspectives, focus on your personal growth. Don't focus on what other people are doing to grow, because also at the end of the day, when casting directors and filmmakers and like when they're auditioning you, they want to see you. They want to see you and your work, the work that you are bringing to the roles that they're auditioning you for. So don't lose ground of who you are personally. Don't try and be like the other actor that you see who's booking all these incredible shows. Like, oh, I need to be more like them. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You could take inspiration on some of the work and it's like, oh yeah, I see that moment. They're doing these really great, interesting things in that scene, or they're making really cool choices, or oh, how did they do that? Sure, creatively you learn that way, but you don't need to become that person. Find ways, like stay grounded, stay true to yourself, and bring yourself to the work and just flush out the noise outside of that. And I would also say turn this off every now and again. Take breaks from this, because what you see on there is an avatar of what people want you to believe, or an avatar of who people want you to see who they are. Like this is my perception of you. It's like that's like find a way to shut off social media as well. Just tune it out and just stay true to yourself and focus on your own journey. Bet on yourself. That's how I stay grounded.
Totally. I mean, it's challenging, right? Especially now, as you were saying, the fact that we are more based in likes, and followers and things like that. Yeah, there's been some interviews that haven't been able to go further because either the actor felt insecure because they didn't have the right amount of likes or followers. And that has happened a lot of times for me. And I was like, no, I don't care if you have 2 million followers or one follower. At the end, your story kind of impact the same way as someone who has, 30 million followers. It's all about sharing and being honest to it. And it's challenging for sure because, yeah, I mean, we're seeing it daily that depending on the amount of followers you have, it's the doors, which is nonsense and stupid if you ask me. But, it's suddenly we became into this idea that become trendy and become plastic, fake. It's a real thing now, and being honest to it, sometimes it's not gonna get you the way as you want to, but that's just nonsense. I do think that as long as you stay honest to it, the right people eventually are gonna come, and it's gonna stick with you in the goods and the bads, and that's the right people you actually need in your life to continue performing and continue moving forward. So
Don't treat it like one of your priorities as well. It's another thing I love sharing. It's kind of hard to say that because the digital era is like it's here, it's now, it's staying, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be again forever evolving and growing. But every time I'd sit in and listen to a casting director panel or an agent panel when I was starting out, especially, like there's always somebody who asks the agent, the casting director, the producer, the executive maybe who maybe isn't that busy right now and can do one of these panels. There's always somebody who asks, like, how many social media followers should I have? Or I have XYZ number of followers. Does that impact? And it's a question that is always brought up. And the most honest answer I got was from a casting director. Well, everybody got was that honestly, if it's not over 1 million, I don't care. And it's just like, okay, so I was like, great. Well, I'm far from 1 million, so I guess I don't need to worry about that right now. So it's off my table. I don't need to go around and ask for follows and likes. It's not my priority. It's like I just want to focus on becoming better. I can just focus on creating my own work, taking an acting class, or exploring something outside of acting. I can live my life.
and when you look back at your earliest performances, what's something you wish you could tell to that younger version of yourself? Or what do you think that is one of the yeah, what advice would you think that would have been important to you back when you were starting out?
And it's advice that I still tell myself today. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to try and impress people. People who try to go out of their way and impress people are usually the ones that people want to get away from. And this idea of perfection is, I mean, there are still times as well where I will do self tapes and I will probably do like 60 takes of like a 1 page audition, like 2 or 3 lines, and I'm looking for the perfect take. Reality is there is no perfect take. There's always going to be something, but also the striving for perfection, you are just focusing on the result. And it's just, again, I go back to saying, enjoy the journey and just enjoy the ride and see where it takes you. So don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about trying to impress people. And another one is don't compare yourself to others because everybody's journey, their roller coaster ride is going to be different than yours. Similarities, sure, but it's not going to be 100% identical. So just give yourself some credit and also just take a deep breath because you don't have to be perfect and absolutely nobody on the film set that you are working with is perfect either. So
If one day your work helped someone feel seen or gave them the courage to dream again, would that be enough?
like I mean, I think as creatives, you're always going to be you're going to have that thirst to create something and do something. But if I know that the work that I've provided, the work that I've created resonated with somebody, yeah, I told a story. I got to be a part of a story that somebody else was telling. It resonated with somebody. They connected to it, or they just had a great time too. And that's another thing too. Is like it doesn't for me. There are some things it really just doesn't have to be that. It could just be something that you thoroughly enjoyed. And if it was just an experience that they enjoyed, then yeah, that's funny. Like that, I feel it's great. You mean artists share? That's what we love to do. We find ways to express ourselves. We tell a story, whether we want somebody to understand us or not. It's something that you get to share. And if it's somebody says, "Wow, I really like that," or there was something in there that actually reminded me of this, it's like, yeah.
Now, for our next section, quick speed round, yes, no, or pass. Basically, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. You can only answer yes, no, or maybe pass. You ready?
Okay, fun.
All right. So, do you ever stay in character after the director yells cut?
No.
Have you ever cried in a scene that it wasn't scripted?
Yes.
Do you believe in method acting?
No.
Have you ever regretted saying yes to a role?
Yes.
Do you think awards still matter?
No.
Is vulnerability your greatest weapon as an actor?
No.
Do you memorize lines quickly?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever rewritten a line in your head because it didn't feel real?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Do you think fame ruins craft?
Yes.
And would you take a break from acting if your soul asks for it?
100,000% yes.
Okay. Fair enough. And before wrapping up, tell me, what advice would you give to those who either want to start acting or just want to start something new in their lives? What would you say to them?
Ooh. Acting or even just starting something new. Good for you. Enjoy it. Be passionate. Be persistent. Practice. Be patient as well. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Have fun with it. Um, you don't have to be perfect. Be nice. Be a decent human being, because again, you can be creative, hardworking, a brilliant artist, and be a decent human being at the same time. And enjoy life. And that, I think that's another big one, is just get a life. Go out, explore. When you ask that question, take a break from acting, would you? Absolutely. Go out, live your life, fall in love, get your heart broken, fall in love again, maybe get married, maybe have a kid if that's the journey you'd like to take. Travel, try something new that maybe isn't applicable to the industry that you're in, or maybe it's something that you can experience, that you could bring to your work. Like it's the stuff that these beautiful true moments in movies and television shows are made of. They're made of these honest, real experiences, these shared moments, these empathetic, truthful moments. So go out and live your life, and don't be afraid to try something new, and don't be afraid to fail, because you're gonna do a lot of that in your career. But just enjoy life and get out there and have fun, have your own experiences, and see where the ride takes you.
There you go. Pretty badass. I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. And my last question, so we can all enjoy and relax after an epic chat here. So, what do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
Enjoy the ride.
To the right?
Enjoy the ride.
I'll take it. Sounds like a franchise to me. Who knows?
the
Right?
new Fast and Furious.
There you go. Rated R. There you go. And you know what? You know what? At the end, what can I say, man? I mean, it's cool what you do. I find it amazing the fact that you're doing what makes you happy. We all know that pursuing something outside the typical 9 to 5 tends to be a pain in the butt, for sure. Comes with a lot of comes with a lot of critics, comments from people that that are close to you. But at the end of the day, you are persistent. You're making it happen. I think that is super cool because you're not also giving us cool stories. You're also showing that dreams can come true. And I think that is a super powerful message, super positive. And I think positivity is what we need right now, especially now in this crazy day that suddenly we want to kill each other for nothing. The fact that we can rely on people like you who are just doing something because it's fun, it's what makes them happy, and it's something they want to pursue. It's amazing. And yeah, I'm super sure that our next conversation would be at some point about the million projects you've been here and there, because you're making it happen. That's pretty cool, man. So,
well, Daniel, thank you so much for having me. And I also think it's brilliant that you get to meet so many incredible artists and sharing those stories as well. I think what you're doing is also very important, because you're going to learn something new from every person that you'll meet, and sharing those experiences, that's huge too. So I thank you very much for having me and for listening to my experience, and I can't wait to hear some more from other people, and I can't wait to hear about their incredible rides that they've been on too. So that'd be great.
There you go. Cool. So I want to thank you so much for making this happen. I do want to thank also those who stayed the whole episode. Now, by this point, come on, you should know why Mike is super badass. So let's share some love. Let's follow him. Let's make him viral. Hashtag Team Mike. And again, man, thank you for making this happen. Keep shining out there. Keep rocking. Keep kicking ass. And I'll be definitely seeing you in the next one then.
Thanks, Dan. Thank you so much.
All right.